Yeah, man. So, listen, I'll tell you what, guys. I got quickly interrupted in my podcast, so I'm going to jump back into that podcast, and I think I finished off with value. So, give me a minute. Let me queue up my my Spotify, and I put it on airplane mode, so this won't happen again. And we'll go ahead and we'll continue to jump into it. What's up, gang? Just continue on with the second part of my podcast. I was finishing up with values when I got briefly interrupted, and I'm going to jump back into it real quick, man. Because here's the deal, guys. If you don't have a set of values, there's a lot of things that can happen to your life. A lot of ways that when you think you're on track, right? Someone else can come in with their solid set of values and move you in a different direction, man. So it's important to have a set of values, and I am going to get into that at another point in time in a different podcast. So I need you guys to understand as I move forward, you need to have a set of values, right? So here we are, man, and values are everything. It all starts with your values. Your set point of how you're going to feel each and every day starts with your set of values. Now, values set the stage on what you will allow to influence your state, right? So understand that, right? If you have a solid set of values, only certain things will influence your state, how you are each and every day. And it is your state, guys, that will determine how your life turns out. So how your life turns out will be determined by your state. But your state has to first be set in place by a solid set of values that you will not cross, right? Everybody needs a solid set of values to live by, to go by, to govern their lives by. And that is what you must do in order to have a good life, guys. So now for me, excuse me, for me, I personally vow to myself to always find my way back to these 10 states that I'm going to give you. 10 states. Because I learned that your default will become your constant state in life, right? If you always default to negative things, these negative things will rule your world. They will change your life to a bitter, unhappy life no matter what happens. You could turn around and hit the lottery, but if your state is a crappy state and you're miserable, you will be a miserable millionaire. It's just how it works, guys, right? So I have these 10 states that are my default, my fallback, right? Worst case scenario, I always make sure that I get these states in during the day. Now, these states are this for me, right? Number one state for me is happiness. I am always defaulting to happiness. I am probably obnoxiously happy all the time. All the time. I love being happy, right? And despite what happens in my life, right? Ups and downs, ebbs and flows, I still make sure that I attempt to be happy. That is my default, and I fall back on. My second one is friendly. I like to be friendly to people. Treat people good, right? Treat people good, and not because people treat me back good. It is because when you treat people good, when you are friendly to people, right? That good vibration flows through your body, and it just allows things to be just better in your life. So treat people good, right? It may be even one of the golden rules, right? Another thing for me is loving, right? Loving. Always find loving in everything that you do. Everything that you do, find some loving in it, right? When you're taking care of your kids, find loving in it. When you're taking care of your wife, obviously find loving in it, right? When you are doing things for people who you care for, find some loving in it and do it with the vigor and energy of being deeply in love, right? The next thing is playful. I love being playful with my family. It's awesome. I love being playful with my friends. Be playful. It keeps me young. It keeps me alive. It keeps me going, guys. Being playful is probably one of the essential things that just keeps my happiness and everything going, because I keep that childlike enthusiasm, right? And speaking of that, also be generous. Be generous. And you may not have money, but be generous with your time to people that you love and you care for, people who are very important to you. Be generous. Give when you can, and give when you can't. Give something. If your default is being generous and giving, you'll always find something of value to give to people. So always be generous. The next thing is be powerful. Be powerful. And being powerful means, listen, don't be a pushover. And be powerful enough to demand that you don't have to compromise your values. And when you're powerful and not compromising to your values, that goes a long way, guys. So be powerful. The next thing is to be passionate. Be passionate about anything that you put your energy into. Your time and energy is the most important thing that you have in the world, and you will never, ever, ever get it back. So whatever you get into, be passionate about it. Be passionate about it. So passionate that other people see your passion, and even if they don't even know what you're doing, they want to be a part of it because you're passionate about it. So be passionate. Remember that. Okay? Next thing is be kind. You know, I call myself Captain Kindness. Even though I'm Lieutenant Sound Blue, when I'm at work, I call myself Captain Kindness, because I know that people love to be treated with kindness, right? And that kindness goes a long way in people's hearts. So be kind to people. You don't know what people have gone through, so make it a practice of being kind. Be good to people, man. My next thing is being outgoing. Don't be afraid to speak to people. Don't be afraid to give someone else a smile, right? Don't be afraid to try new things, right? New experiences. You never know what you'll be good at if you don't start being outgoing and trying just about everything, man. Just go out there and be outgoing and be part of things. Be part of a community of people, of like-minded people, of unlike-minded people who are trying to do things different than you, just so you can see what the variations are. Maybe you may like something different, you know? So be outgoing. And the last thing, guys, is optimistic. So the last thing that I vow to be is optimistic. No matter what I'm going through, no matter what circumstances I come up against, I try to make it a point of being optimistic. Having optimism is a calming effect in many, many things in my life. You can go through all different types of circumstances in life, all types of ebbs and flows and dangers and challenges and obstacles. But if you are optimistic, you will remain steady. Most of the time, you remain steady. So be optimistic. And those are powerful states that I vow to myself that I was always bring myself back down to, right? Because what I found was that these are the states that make me my best self, right? My highest state, right? These 10 states, they put me there, right? They get me where I need to be my best self, and help me to have my greatest joy. So understand that when it comes to things that you vow to be, your 10 states, right? And I tell you, I got 10 states, maybe you only got 5 states. Either way, man, whatever they are, don't compromise them. Make sure that you get to those states each and every day. It's going to change your life, right? And the fact is, because I take inventory of these states every day, right? I don't let a day go past that I don't ask myself, hey, how was I feeling today? What state was I in today, right? And I make sure that if I haven't gotten to that state of of joy or playfulness or friendliness or happiness or treating somebody kind or be generous or powerful, then I make sure before I close my eyes at night that I have gotten into one of those states, man. I've gotten into one of my default states in order to make my life better and to make someone else's life better. And so that is something powerful that I do, and it has changed my life dramatically in leaps and bounds. It has changed my life, guys. Now, I may not be able to maintain these states all day long, right? From sun up to sundown. But because I'm always aware of these states, I'm constantly bringing myself back to these states until they have become my baseline. So I'm happy all the time because happiness is my baseline. I am passionate in everything that I do because passion is my baseline, right? I can go way over, way above board, but when I crash back down, I crash back down to happiness. When I crash back down, I crash back down to playfulness, right? I crash back down to generosity. I make all these things my baseline because I work so hard at creating them in my life. And this is important and this is key, guys, when it comes to making the right changes in your life. Optimism is my baseline because I work so hard at being optimistic, so hard to being overly optimistic sometimes, right? That just being optimistic is my baseline, that I always think things are going to work out. And most of the time they do. They do work out. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. What states will you commit to every day no matter what? I think you should write them down. Because if you haven't written them down, it's just a wish, a whim, right? Write them down, read them every day, pay attention to them every day. What states are you committing to be in, right? To be at your highest, your best self. What state is it, guys? So think about that. And I'm saying, think about that because I want you guys to understand, regardless of whatever comes your way, I need you to commit. Commit to those states. If you can't do 10 like me, then do 5. If you can't do 5, do 3. But either way, commit, right? And as you master those 3 states in your life, then add another one. And add another one and add another one. And remember, as I said before, those states need to be backed by strong values. You need to have a strong set of values that you go by and you don't compromise. Right? So I'll get into another podcast where we talk about values, guys. But this is a very, very important, okay, to have a strong set of values to allow you, okay, to have a powerful state, to be your best. See, because when you're at your best state, you perform your best. You do your best work at your best state. Okay? And in a world where competition is growing by the millions, right? You need to be at the highest state possible so you can catch on, pick up, learn, and continue to move your life forward so that you can create generational wealth, right? Not just for yourself, but for generations down the line. And if you're so selfish that you just think about yourself, guys, then guess what, right? Focus on yourself and get yourself right because it's a lot of work you need to do. And when you begin to work on your state, that selfishness will fall right off, man. It'll fall right off, and you will realize that it is not about just you. And none of us has done this alone ever. We all need to work together as we create a world that is incredible for everybody. So I ask you guys, commit to some serious states and stay in them each and every day and work each day on being staying in those states longer and longer and longer, guys. Okay. And one more thing, I just want to wrap it up with this, guys. You can preach a better sermon, right, with your life. A much better sermon with your life than you can with your lips, right? So don't just talk the talk, walk the walk. And that quote was by Oliver Goldsmith. And don't even know who he is. I just happened to read it in the book, guys, and I had to give him credit for it because I spoke it. But when you guys get out there tomorrow, right? And this is late night for me. So when you guys get out there tomorrow, make sure that you have your list, that the first thing in the morning, you say, hey, listen, let me start off this day right. What are the 5 states, or what are the 3 states, or what are the 10 states that I'm going to work on having in my life today, and begin to work on them. I would tell you to start your day off with happiness, right? I would tell you no matter what happens tonight and the rest of the evening, tomorrow is a reset. I don't care what's going on in your life. Wake up with a smile on your face. Wake up joyous, happiness, and grateful. Wake up that way. That's how you should wake up tomorrow. Start your day off with that, and then we'll work from there, all right? This is Lieutenant Sal Blue. I am going to wrap it up for today, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow with my daily podcast, right? But anyway, guys, make sure you hop on over to lieutenantsalblue.com. Pick up my book, Top 25 Mistakes En Route to the Good Life, right? You will learn in this book so many mistakes that I made and that, thank God, I have overcome to have a fantastic life and live with so much joy, excitement, and enthusiasm for me and my family. So make sure you guys go over and check that out. I got some specials going on right now. I'm giving away the book for free, so you can pick that up at lieutenantsalblue.com for free. I'm just asking you guys to pay shipping. Also over there, I got my audiobook. You guys can pick that up, and you can finish my book in half a day. Okay, you can finish it that quick, man. I just play it on twice the speed, and you just go through all the concepts of my book, right? And you will find that if you don't make these top 25 mistakes, you will be off to a great start to have an incredible life, man. So you guys keep pushing, keep going. Make sure you follow me on all the social platforms at lieutenantsalblue.com. Also, hop on over to my Facebook group and give me a comment on what you would like me to talk about on tomorrow's podcast. So that's it, man. This is Lieutenant Sal Blue. Bumps and bruises in this podcast, but I made it through, man. So you guys have a fantastic evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Deuces.